Hello everyone, this is Citrine and this is your weekly astrology forecast for the week of June 9th. And I will also be giving Zodiac messages as well. So stay tuned, and you can fast forward to somewhere around 4 minutes or 5 minutes if you don't, if you just want to go straight to the tarot messages. I will be pulling tarot cards for each Zodiac sign. So let's go ahead and get started with the astrology forecast. So on June 9th, we have the sun in a square to Neptune. Now, this is an aspect where a lot of people will feel tired, kind of beaten down. And here in the Atlanta area, it is raining. So it is so easy to just want to lay around all day. Okay. But it's also a good energy to get the rest that you might need. Okay. So on June 10th, we have the sun in an opposition to Jupiter. This is a great aspect because a lot of people will feel cheerful, optimistic, and it's a great aspect to get something done that you previously didn't have the courage to do. Okay, now moving on to Thursday. Thursday is June 13th, and we have Mars in a trine to Neptune. Mars is going to be in a trine to Neptune. And the exact time, I just found this interesting. The exact time is 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Now, Mars in a trine to Neptune is an aspect where you might have, your energy level might be low as far as doing any physical work. However, this aspect is great for spiritual work. So for all of you spiritual practitioners out there, Thursday at around 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mars is going to be in a trine to Neptune. It is a great time to do spiritual work. Okay. And Thursday is, if you guys do any type of planetary work, if you work with the planets, Thursday is the day of Jupiter. So Thursday at 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is a great time to do spiritual work. Okay. Now, let's move on. On June 14th, we have Mars in an opposition to Saturn. Okay, this is going to be a challenging aspect because Saturn, remember, Saturn is the taskmaster planet. Okay, Saturn believes in doing everything according to the book. Okay, Mars just wants to get something done. And Mars is going to be in an opposition to Saturn. Okay, so this is an energy that is going to call for a lot of patience. Okay, and a lot of people may feel irritable around this time. Now, for those of you who know where your rising sign is, or for those of you who know what your rising sign is, which is also your ascendant, I'm just going to give you a rundown of where the planets are going to be located for you on the 13th and the 14th. Okay, so remember, on the 13th, Mars is going to be in a trine to Neptune. And then on the 14th, Mars is going to be in an opposition to Saturn. So if you are an Aries ascendant, this is going to be a great time for you to do some type of spiritual work related to your home and your spirituality. Okay, so it's going to require you to have a lot of patience when it comes to your home and your family situation. Because the opposition on the 14th, Mars in an opposition to Saturn, means that Mars is in your area of your life that deals with your home. Saturn is in the area of your life that deals with your, excuse me, that deals with your career or your business. Okay. So on the 14th, you're going to have patience related to those areas. But it's a great time for you to do some type of spiritual work surrounding your home and your spirituality. Okay. Excuse me. Let's move on to Taurus ascendant, Taurus rising sign. So on the 13th, it is a great time for you to do some type of spiritual work surrounding technology, surrounding short distance travel. If you have plans to travel, it's a great time for you. This is for Taurus ascendant. It's a great time for you to do some type of spiritual work surrounding your friendships, in relations to your communications. So if you have someone who you've been wanting to communicate with, maybe you and a friend have been kind of like out as far as not communicating with each other, it might be a great time for you to do some type of spiritual work related to communicating with friends, okay? Because it's house 3 and house 11 that's involved. Now, also, it's going to require you to have patience surrounding communications related to legal situations or related to philosophy, higher education, things of that nature. This is for Taurus rising. Now, moving on to Gemini rising. For you, your spiritual work, the spiritual work, if you are into spiritual work, on the 13th is going to involve your finances and your career, okay? So anything, if you do plan on doing some spiritual work, it will be very powerful for those of you who have Gemini rising, because it's going to happen in your area of your life that deals with finances and career, okay? Because for you, Mars is in your area of your life that deals with finances, and Neptune is in the area of your life that deals with your career. So any type of spiritual work surrounding those two areas is going to be perfect for you who are Gemini risings, okay? And it's going to require you to have patience related to your finances and other people's finances. So if, let's say, you have finances that you share with someone, for some of you Gemini risings, you will have to have patience surrounding your personal finances and the finances you share with someone else on the 14th, on June 14th. Now, moving on to Cancer. This aspect of Mars in a trine to Neptune is going to require you, well, not require you, but if you are doing any spiritual work related to yourself at this time, Cancer rising, it is a great idea because Mars is going to be in your first house, which is related to you, to yourself, to your outward demeanor, your appearance. So any type of spiritual work you plan on doing, you might want to include anything related to your appearance or your outward demeanor as well. Now, moving on to Leo. Mars is going to be in your area of your life dealing with your spirituality. So any type of spiritual work you plan on doing on the 13th, you might want to include something related to your spirituality, you know, as far as advancing your spirituality. But you will definitely have to have patience on a daily basis because Mars is in an opposition to Saturn. You have to remember that as well. Now, as far as Virgo rising, any type of spiritual work you do on the 13th, you should include something dealing with group associations or your friendships. Also your partnerships, because Mars is going to be in the area of your life dealing with partnerships, and Neptune is in the area of your life. Mars is in the area of your life dealing with friendships and group associations. Neptune is in the area of your life dealing with partnerships. So any spiritual work you plan on doing on the 13th, this is for Virgo rising, you should include something dealing with friendships and partnerships as far as whatever type of spiritual work you might be doing around the 13th. And remember, these dates that I'm mentioning, you can always feel the energy from these aspects a few days before the actual date and even a few days after. Okay, so don't get caught up on specific dates because there's always a shadow period. Now, let's move on to Libra rising. If you have a Libra rising and you plan on doing some spiritual work on the 13th, it should include something related to your career. Okay, any type of spiritual work related to your career and your health as well. Okay, but it will require you to have patience on the 14th surrounding anything dealing with your career and your home situation. Okay, now moving on to Scorpio rising. Scorpio rising, any type of spiritual work you do on the 13th, you should incorporate some type of creativity. You should do some type of spiritual work related to creativity, romance, even kids, okay? Moving on to Sagittarius rising. On the 13th, Mars is going to be in a trine to Neptune in the area of your life that deals with other people's money and also your home and your family situation, okay? So any type of spiritual work you plan on doing, this is for Sagittarius rising. Any type of spiritual work you plan on doing on June 13th, you should incorporate doing spiritual work surrounding other people's money and your home and family situation, okay? Now, this is for Capricorn rising. So if you plan on doing any spiritual work on the 13th, you should include something related to your creativity and something related to your outward appearance or your demeanor, okay? So any type of spiritual work you do on the 13th, it's a great idea to incorporate your creativity and your outward demeanor, your personality. Put that into your spiritual work on the 13th. Now, moving on to Aquarius rising. If you have Aquarius rising, right now I'm doing rising. I'm giving information for rising signs. If you know what your rising sign is, and if you don't know what your rising sign is, there's so many websites online where you can just cast your natal chart, and whatever sign is in house 1, that is your ascendant. That is your rising sign. I'll be happy to do it, but because I do get a lot of requests, I do have to charge you to let you know where what your rising sign is. So you can PM me and send your donation. I will be happy to let you know what your rising sign is. It's just that it's available freely online, but because I do get a lot of requests, I just have to ask for a donation in order to look up that information for you. So anyway, let's get back to Aquarius rising. Aquarius rising, if you plan on doing any spiritual work on June 13th, you should include something related to partnerships and communication, okay? And Pisces rising, you should include in your spiritual work that you might plan on doing around the 13th, you should include something related to your finances and your daily work routine or your health and your vitality. Okay, so that's that for rising signs. And you can always PM me and send donations. I would be happy to let you guys know where your rising sign is, okay, in your natal chart. Now, let's move on to the zodiac messages. And as always, Aries is first on the list. Okay, so I've already laid out the cards and everything for each different sign. So Aries, this week you have the 9 of Wands, okay? And this is going to, for a lot of Aries, there might be something that you have to pay special attention to this week. The 9 of Wands can be a card of caution, and it can also be signaling you that if there is something that you've been struggling with, then you might be faced with a final challenge this week. This is for Aries. Okay, so let's move on to Taurus. Taurus is always after Aries. Okay, so Taurus, you have the 4 of Pentacles, and it is reversed. So this is it here. And the deck I'm using is the Book of Shadows, So Below deck. The Book of Shadows has 2 decks. The Book of Shadows has the As Above deck, and it has the So Below deck. This is the So Below deck. I love the So Below deck. I didn't really resonate well with the As Above deck. It was very whimsical and everything. But this is the So Below deck. And so this is for Taurus. You have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So a lot of Taurus this week are going to be releasing unneeded possessions, like things that are just laying around. You haven't used it for months and months, maybe years at a time. A lot of Taurus are going to be getting rid of those things this week. This is for Taurus. So any type of unwanted or unneeded possessions, a lot of Taurus will be purging them, getting rid of them this week. So that's great. Now let's move on to Gemini. And this week Gemini has the Star card reversed. Look at this. The Star card reversed. So a lot of Geminis this week are not going to be following their intuition. Some Geminis are going to be feeling a little bit like they're wasting their time, or even to the point where it might make some Geminis feel like just filled with low self-esteem this week, okay? So remember, Gemini, try to keep your spirits up, try to follow your intuition this week, but you do have the Star card reversed, okay? Now let's move on to Cancer. Cancer is going to be, it's going to be a great week for Cancers. Look at this. You have the 10 of Pentacles, Cancer. 10 of Pentacles. So for a lot of Cancers, this week is going to be filled with blessings, Cancer. This is great news. Cancers are going to have a great week this week. And remember, this is a general reading for all signs. So if something doesn't resonate with you, don't think about it too much. Don't take it too seriously. This is for entertainment purposes only, okay? We have to make that disclaimer, because some people take a lot of things so seriously. Too seriously. Excuse me. Okay, let's move on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cancer. 5. Oh, Leo. Okay, Leo is next. Okay, Leo, you have the 3 of Pentacles reversed this week, okay? And this is saying that a lot of Leos this week are going to feel lazy. This is the 3 of Pentacles reversed. And I can actually really identify with this, because usually I record these videos early. And because I've been traveling last week and I'll be traveling next week, I am just kind of behind on some things. So that's why this video, you know, maybe has is coming to you a little bit later than usual, because I'm just feeling lazy right now. 3 of Pentacles reversed. I am a Leo, so this is for Leos. Leos, you have the 3 of Pentacles reversed this week. So a lot of Leos this week might be feeling lazy. So just try to keep yourself upbeat this week, Leo. It might be hard. You know, the moon just went into Virgo, so it should be a good time to get things done. However, we do have this 3 of Pentacles reversed this week, Leo. So you might be struggling to get things accomplished this week, Leo, but keep on at it. Keep at it. Okay, now moving on to Virgo. Virgo, you have the Prince of Wands, and it is reversed. Well, it's called the Knight of Wands in this deck. This is the card upright. Excuse me. Okay, you have the Knight of Wands, which is also the Prince of Wands. You have the Knight of Wands reversed, okay? And this is for Virgo. Knight of Wands reversed. So again, this is another sign that might be filled with no energy this week. So a lot of Virgos this week might be feeling like they just don't have a lot of energy, okay? And this is also a sign that for some of you Virgos, you might be tempted to tell lies this week, or you might encounter someone who is lying to you this week. So just watch out for that, Virgo. All right, so let's move on to Libra. Just straightening out my cards here. Libra. Okay, here we go, Libra. So Libra, you have the Princess of Pentacles reversed this week, okay? The Princess of Pentacles. Wait, let me see. The Prince of Wands. Oh, it's reversed, okay. And now this is for Libra. Libra has the Princess of Pentacles reversed. Princess of Pentacles. This is for Libra. You have the Princess of Pentacles reversed this week. So for you, this is a message that it is time for you to unwind. Make sure you make time this week to unwind, and make sure you have a balance between work and play this week, Libra. This is the Princess of Pentacles reversed. Okay, now let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio, you have the Five of Pentacles reversed this week. Five of Pentacles reversed. So a lot of Scorpios this week will be faced with something. You might be faced with making a decision about something that is going to be a turning point in some part of your life, okay? Whether it's making a major decision about your job, a major decision about your relationship. A lot of Scorpios are going to be faced with some type of turning point in their lives this week. This is for Scorpio. Now, let's move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you have the Two of Wands reversed this week. And this can signal that a lot of Sagittarius this week might have a pleasant surprise in store. Something might happen just out of the blue for you, and it just might leave you feeling like, wow, look at this. This is the Two of Wands. This is the card upright. But you have it reversed. When it is reversed, it deals with a good surprise, like a sudden change. It usually deals with a good surprise, and it's something that just happens suddenly and out of the blue for you. Okay, so this is for Sagittarius. Okay. All right, let's move on. That was Sagittarius. Let's move on to Capricorn. Capricorn, you have the Lovers reversed this week. The Lovers reversed. So some Capricorns might be going through a bit of a, kind of like struggle in their relationship this week. It could signal romantic problems. There might be some Capricorns who are separating from their significant other. So just watch out for that. The Lovers card reversed. Now, this can also just signify that some Capricorns just might be battling something, just like you might be going through an inner battle, such as, should I go right or left? Should I say yes or no? Just like an inner struggle going on within you this week. All right, now let's move on to Aquarius. Aquarius, you have the Queen of Wands reversed. Okay. This can deal with the fact that this week, for a lot of Aquarius, you might either be very obsessed with something this week or very neglectful with something this week. It's like you're going to be on, one end of the spectrum, but you might be, your scales will not be balanced for a lot of Aquarius this week. Okay, the Queen of Wands reversed can deal with either being too obsessed with something or just being neglectful, like you just don't care at all about it, okay? So just watch out for that. Try to stay in the middle. If there is a scale, let's say this is a scale that deals with being obsessed, and this is a scale that deals with not caring. Your scales really might be tilted to one side too much. So just try to balance things out this week, Aquarius. And let's move on to Pisces. Pisces, I'm sorry to report, you have the Eight of Swords this week. And just look at this card and soak it in. This card says it all. This is the Eight of Swords. Okay? And this is for Pisces. Look at this card. So Pisces, try to take it easy this week. You might really feel like you have overdone something this week. You might just feel exhausted, some Pisces. Hopefully this is not the case. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. But you do have the Eight of Swords this week, Pisces. So a lot of Pisces just might feel exhausted this week. And it seems to be a theme that's going on in the cards. Because remember, Leo had something that pointed out that they might feel lazy. Virgo had the Princess of Wands, which indicates they just might be walking around with not a lot of energy. And then we finish it off with Pisces, just exhausted. So a lot of people just, try to balance everything out this week. Try not to overdo anything. Try to get what you have to done. Try to get what you have to do done. but try not to overdo it this week. But I hope everyone has a great week, and I will be back next week doing the same thing. And I hope you have enjoyed this. Again, this is Citrinechaka. I am an author. In fact, I'm working on several books right now as well. I do have one published book. Yeah, I'm an author. I'm a psychic. I am an astrologer. I love, love, love astrology. And as I always say, I love planting vegetables as well. So, and traveling. So, until next week, everyone, have a great week.